Hello everyone. In this video, which is designed to help you with your Math Studies internal assessment, I'm going to show you how to make a spreadsheet like this, where we have some data. X is the independent variable, Y is the dependent, and we want to find out the correlation coefficient R squared, which is here. It's also seen on the scatter diagram. So I'm going to show you how to build this from basics. Here we go. So let's imagine we have your data X and Y. I'm going to copy the formula, which you've already got in an earlier email. I'm going to center everything just because I like it that way. Okay, so I'm going to make up some random data. There's 5 bits of data. I'm going to select these and insert a scatter graph. Normally I'd put titles on the axis, I'll leave that to you. All axes need to have a label saying what the variable is. Now if I right click on those points, I can add a trend line, and I can tell Excel to give me the R value and the equation. Okay. So some of you have done this, but you haven't done the hand calculation to show where it came from, which is a further process. So here's how we do it. This rather frightening equation has sigma signs. Sigma just means add something up. Okay, so let's look at this one. The sum of x is what this means, sigma x. So I can just go to these x values and put equals sum, drag over that, close brackets, and I've got the sum. Once I've done that, I can just drag it over. Now I've got the sum of y, which is this. So we've already got 2 bits of the equation. Now, here we've got sigma xy. That means we must take the product of x and y. And I can do that by typing this times this. Then I just drag that down. And I've also got the sum of x squared, the sum of y squared. Okay, so I need to do x squared, y squared, x squared equals y squared. I can just drag them down. And I need sums of all these things, so I can just drag that along. Okay, now I've got everything I need for the formula. But it still looks kind of frightening. Let's look at the top, the numerator. We've got nxy. Sorry, n times the sum of xy. Now I've just made 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 variables here. These are all sums, it's not a variable. So n is 5. So here I can do 5 times this sum. Actually, I also need n times the other sums as well. I need n times the sum of x squared and n times the sum of y squared. Okay. The top of the fraction, the numerator, is nxy. Okay. So that is this one minus the sum of x times the sum of y. So that's the sum of x times the sum of y. And the bottom, well, there's a square root and there's this thing times this thing. Maybe we'll just do these things individually. So we've got n times the sum of x squared, that's this, minus the sum of x squared. This is the sum of x squared. And here we've got n times the sum of y squared. Okay, that's this one. Minus the sum of y squared. That's this one squared. So now we just do r equals, this is the top, so it's equal to this divided by the square root of this times this. That's r. This is r squared. So when I square this, if it doesn't give me this, I've done something wrong. So r squared equals this squared. 0.97193. Okay, we're done. Let's just check it. If I make this 6, now the correlation is far weaker, 0.5383. 0.5383. We're done.